चलिए ये पैसेज देखते हैं which is about the Trump-Musk fight. So we all have seen how these two people took to their own social media platforms. Trump took to Truth Social and Musk took to X, and they fired salvos at each other. So pretty interesting. So let's take a look at this passage. It would have taken a heart of stone to watch the death of Trump-Musk bromance without laughing. तो अगर आप डेथ ऑफ ट्रम्प मस्क ब्रोमांस देख रहे हो without laughing, so that means you've got a heart of stone. Generally, when you are watching the death or something which is sad, then you don't laugh, right? But then this one, he says, without laughing, if you see, then you would have had a heart of stone, which means you do not get moved easily. Democrats passed the popcorn on Thursday night as the alliance between the world's most powerful man and the world's richest imploded by a post on their respective social media platforms. Democrats, so Trump is a Republican and the Democrats are the other one, the other party. They must have passed the popcorn, we must have enjoyed the show on Thursday night. So this is like a humorous and sarcastic take on this particular fight. Less than a week ago, they attempted a conscious uncoupling in the Oval Office. Then Elon Musk's attacks on Donald Trump's big beautiful tax and spending plan escalated to full-scale denunciation of a disgusting abomination, objecting to its effect on the deficit, not the fact that it snatches essential support from the poor and hands $1.1 trillion in tax cuts to the rich. So last week से ये चल रहा था conscious upcoupling. As we know, Musk had been appointed as the Doge head, and then he was relieved of that. He was let go. And then he left quite unceremoniously, almost with a black eye. Elon Musk started attacking big beautiful tax. So Trump has come out with a tax bill, which Musk feels is absolutely disgusting, and it will add to trillions of dollars of deficit in the American budget. So which means the debt on America will go up significantly. And it snatches essential support from the poor. So this point was not highlighted. And it puts $1.1 trillion in tax cut to the rich. The president said that Mr. Musk had gone crazy and was angry that electrical vehicle subsidies were being removed, claimed he had fired him, threatened to terminate his government contracts, and mocked the billionaire's recent black eye. Steve Bannon chipped in, suggesting that Mr. Musk should be deported. So president ने भी इस तरह की बातें करी, और because the EV subsidies are being withdrawn, so Musk and Tesla used to definitely gain from the EV subsidies. तो वो अगर हट रही हैं, तो Trump says that that's why he's gone crazy, and he said that he had fired him. और उसके गवर्नमेंट कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स की जो है, SpaceX is Musk's agency, SpaceX के बहुत सारे कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स हैं, और इसकी recent black eye जो हुई लड़ाई में, वो भी मॉक किया उसने. Mr. Musk said Mr. Trump should be impeached and alleged the government had not released files on the late pedophile financier Jeffrey Epstein because the president was in them. So Jeffrey Epstein करके एक financier था जिसकी काफी फाइल्स थी, वो pedophile के उसके ऊपर चार्जेस थे. तो मस्क कह रहे हैं कि गवर्नमेंट ने वो फाइल इसलिए रिलीज नहीं की क्योंकि उसके ट्रम्प भी हैं उसके अंदर. He threatened to immediately start decommissioning the Dragon spacecraft, now key to NASA's program, and suggested it was time for a new political party. The ultimate insult: without me, Trump would have lost the election, he wrote. तो इस तरह से ये दोनों के बीच में जो चल रहा था, वो this passage has captured so far. Mr. Musk later appeared minded to limit the damage, backing away from the spacecraft threat. Not surprising, perhaps, when he had just watched $1.152 billion wiped out Tesla's value. तो अब एकदम ये सब जो उसका असर हुआ कि टेस्ला का जो स्टॉक था वो 15-20% एक रात में गिर गया. And obviously Musk is the major shareholder there, so it hurt him financially. And therefore, he was trying to limit the damage by backing away from the spacecraft threat. Each man knows the other could hurt him via government fiat or political war chest. Yet both are so unpredictable that the row could still reignite. दोनों ही एक दूसरे को हर्ट कर सकते हैं, लेकिन दोनों ही इतने अनप्रिडिक्टेबल है कि अभी भी ये row में this fight could still go on. Two narcissists. Narcissists are people who are in self-love, who think nothing beyond themselves. Used to imposing their will, were never likely to coexist happily for long, despite the advantages of doing so. This was less a marriage of convenience than of naked self-interest. तो ये दोनों नार्सिसिस्ट हैं, एक दूसरे को अपने ही चीजों में रहते हैं, और ये मैरिज को ज्यादा चलनी नहीं चाहिए, ऐसा बोल रहे हैं. एडवांटेजेस थे, तो मैरिज ऑफ कन्वीनियंस नहीं थी, बल्कि ये सेल्फ इंटरेस्ट की नेकेड सेल्फ इंटरेस्ट की मैरिज थी. Mr. Trump loathes means hates sharing the limelight. Tesla boss frequently grabbed it. तो ये चाहते हैं कि ये लाइमलाइट में रहे, the president is surely as resentful of as he is dazzled by Mr. Musk's spectacular wealth. तो मिस्टर मस्क दुनिया के सबसे अमीर इंसान है, नंबर 1 पे आता है उनका नाम. तो प्रेसिडेंट इज श्योरली रिसेंटफुल मींस ही हेट्स हिम बिकॉज दैट, एंड dazzled also means he's dazzled, means he's in awe also of that particular wealth. He was angered to discover that Mr. Musk had arranged private meetings, briefings on Pentagon plan for any potential war with China. Not only a blatant conflict of interest, but perhaps more upsettingly a sign of his growing power. तो मिस्टर मस्क उनके पीछे से पेंटागन जो अमेरिका का मिलिट्री हेडक्वार्टर से मिलिट्री रन करते हैं, उनके साथ में इन्होंने ब्रीफिंग्स की वो बात भी कर ली थी. तो ये एक कॉन्फ्लिक्ट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट है और ट्रंप को ऐसा लगा कि ये पीठ में छुरा भोंका गया है. मिस्टर मस्क बिहेवियर ऑल्सो अपीयर टू बी इंक्रीजिंगली erratic. A recent New York Times report alleged that he took large amounts of drug, including ketamine, while advising Mr. Trump prior to the election. तो इनके ऊपर ये भी इल्जाम है कि ये काफी ड्रग्स लेते हैं. मिस्टर मस्क has described the story as bullshit. Okay, so this paragraph tells you that these two people came together. They were not bound by any kind of marriage to convenience, but rather naked self-interest. And Mr. Trump hated the spotlight that Tesla boss got. His departure from the president's orbit is good news. Mr. Musk plausibly claimed he would have saved $2 trillion annually, approaching a third of the federal budget by taking a chainsaw to bureaucracy. तो ये डोजे में इन्होंने कहा था कि मैं 2 ट्रिलियन एनुअली सेव कर दूंगा, ऑलमोस्ट अ थर्ड ऑफ द फेडरल बजट. तो यूएस का बजट है वो $6 ट्रिलियन का. और बाय टेकिंग अ चेंज फॉर द ब्यूरोक्रेसी मींस कि वो ब्यूरोक्रेसी को काफी खत्म कर देगी. वाइल डिसीजन बाय द सो कॉल्ड डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ गवर्नमेंट एफिशिएंसी आर मायर्ड इन द कोर्ट्स. इनके जो डिसीजन है वो कोर्ट में भी चल रहे हैं. But he has nonetheless caused real damage which will not be easily remedied, cutting agencies and department which took decades to build. तो बहुत सारी एजेंसीज और जो डिपार्टमेंट थे, यूएस एड जैसे और ऐसे बहुत सारे थे जो कि दुनिया भर में हेल्प कर रहे थे, उनको उन्होंने खत्म कर दिया. पीपल आर डाइंग बिकॉज ऑफ हिज डेमोलिशन ऑफ यूएस एड. So author is not really a big fan of Mr. Musk also because he says that it's good that he has gone away from the government because he was claiming that he will reduce $2 trillion. Nothing like that has been done. जो भी इन्होंने किया वो कोर्ट में है और काफी डैमेज कर दिया इन्होंने. Yet while the bond between the peak of power and the peak of wealth has been severed, means cut off, politics remains in thrall to money. तो यहाँ पे तो चलो बॉन्ड बिटवीन पीक ऑफ पावर और पीक ऑफ वेल्थ अलग हो गई है, लेकिन पॉलिटिक्स अभी भी मनी के थ्रॉल में है, मीन्स उस पर सब सर्वियंट है. मिस्टर ट्रम्प्स अप्रोच इज पर्टिकुलरली नॉक्शियस, मीन्स वेरी पॉइजनस, turning wealth directly into political favors and power into further wealth. तो वेल्थ से वो पावर लेते हैं, फेवर लेते हैं और फिर वापस पावर से वेल्थ क्रिएट करते हैं. तो इस तरह से मिस्टर ट्रम्प का अप्रोच. दिस इज द न्यू ओलिगोपोली. ओलिगोपोली इज बेसिकली द रूल बाय रिच बाय द वेल्दी. तो यहाँ पे इनके जो आसपास इन्होंने अपने लगा रखे हैं, जितना भी इनका कैबिनेट है, जितने भी इनके मेंबर्स हैं, वो सब इसी के रिच फ्रेंड्स हैं. They are not people who've been running administrations and doing this kind of work. He oversees the cabinet of billionaires and has directed his real estate tycoon friend Steve Witkoff, a man with no diplomatic experience, to bring peace in the Middle East and Ukraine. इस तरह के लोग इन्होंने रख रखे हैं. But through mega donors, though mega donors are heavily skewed towards the Republicans, Democrats too depend on billionaires. तो ऑथर ये नहीं कह रहा है कि इनकी पार्टी ही मेगा डोनर से पैसे लेती है. डेमोक्रेट्स भी बिलियनर्स के ऊपर डिपेंडेंट है. मिस्टर मस्क इज अ सिम्टम ऑफ द अंडरलाइंग बिलीव्स. तो ये मिस्टर मस्क जो है ये एक इस बीमारी के एक सिम्टम है. Democracy requires better safeguards against the unhealthy marriage of wealth and power than the rampant egos of those who command them. So better safeguard चाहिए उनको against marriage of wealth and power. So this passage basically then ultimately ends up by giving a message that democracy needs better safeguards so that इस तरह की wealth और power की जो marriage हो वो ना हो आगे जाके. So let's look at the questions. Which figure of speech best describes the expression, "It would have taken a heart of stone to watch the death of Trump-Musk bromance without laughing"? Litotes. Litotes क्या होता है? Litotes is basically when you use negatives, two negatives to say, जैसे you want to say that this was good, yeah, this was okay. So you're saying this was not bad. So this is called litotes. Irony is something which is like a disconnect between what should be and what is. So यहाँ पे irony है because वो एक तरह से कह रहा है कि जो डेथ ऑफ ट्रम्प मस्क रोमांस, इट मींस इज अ सैड सीरियस सिचुएशन, बट यू कैन नॉट watch it without laughing, right? So this is like an irony that generally when you watch the death or demise of anything, then you are serious, dead serious, but you cannot watch this without laughing, because if you do, then you've got a heart of stone. Heart of stone is a very different metaphor. This is different figure of speech, which is metaphor, but यहाँ पे पूछा जा रहा है कि विच डिस्क्राइब्स बेस्ट डिस्क्राइब्स द एक्सप्रेशन फिगर ऑफ स्पीच, तो यहाँ पे आयरनी लुक्स ओके, हाइपरबोल मीन्स एग्जैजरेशन, तो यहाँ पे कोई एग्जैजरेशन तो नहीं हुआ है। मेटोनिमी, मेटोनिमी इज बेसिकली व्हेन यू रिप्रेजेंट समथिंग बाय समथिंग, so let's say White House is the office of US president, Hollywood is the US film industry, right? So that's metonymy. So metonymy का कुछ काम नहीं है। B is a right answer. कुछ लोग hyperbole से confuse हो सकते हैं, that this is a hyperbole, so this is not a hyperbole. Hyperbole is basically examples are if you say I've told you 1,000 times, it needs $1 billion to buy something like that. Which of the following, if true, would least weaken the author's argument that democracy requires better safeguards against the unhealthy marriage of wealth and power than the rampant egos of those who command them? This is a good question. Would least weaken. So in this question, in this type of question, we should rephrase this. This is double negative या single negative वाले होते हैं, triple negative भी होते हैं. So least weaken, which means it would not weaken, right? Would not weaken, or it may strengthen, right? It may strengthen. So rest of those 4 will weaken. The rest of these 3. तो इसमें से 4 में से 3 वीकन करेंगे इस स्टेटमेंट को कि डेमोक्रेसी रिक्वायर्स बेटर सेफगार्ड्स अगेंस्ट द हेल्दी मैरिज ऑफ वेल्थ एंड पावर, और एक नहीं करेगा। तो इंस्टीट्यूशनल चेक्स इंप्लीमेंटेड सो फार हैव नॉट फेल्ड टू प्रिवेंट बिलियनियर्स फ्रॉम एक्सर्टिंग आउटसाइड इन्फ्लुएंस इन पॉलिटिक्स। दिस सेज दैट जो चेक्स किए हैं वो चेक्स फेल नहीं हुए हैं टू प्रिवेंट बिलियनियर्स। दैट मीन्स that this is not required. Democracy does not require better safeguards against an healthy marriage of wealth and power, because already billionaires are being prevented from exercising outside influence. So therefore, this doesn't need to be done. Democracy वाले जो better safeguards की जरूरत नहीं है, क्योंकि already जो institutional checks हैं वो fail नहीं हुए हैं billionaires को prevent करने में. So this weakens it, right? कि इसकी तो जरूरत ही नहीं है फिर इस चीज की जो लिखी है यहाँ पर। Most political leaders have not been influenced by wealthy donors in the past decade. This also makes this redundant, right? This is not needed then. This also weakens. Recent reforms have succeeded in limiting the political power of billionaires. Again, same thing. Democracy doesn't require better safeguards because recent reforms हो गया है काम. There is no evidence that political favors are never exchanged for donations. So that means there is evidence that political favors are exchanged for donations. तो अगर evidence है कि political favors donations से exchange किए जा सकते हैं, then democracy needs better safeguards. So this does not weaken, rather it strengthens. So interesting question. Let's go to the next one. Which of the following best describe the tone of the passage? The tone of the passage is sardonic and critical with an undercurrent of dark humor. This looks fine. So basically, what is the meaning of sardonic? So sardonic means basically it's like an amused attitude towards something or someone, but does not express criticism. So amused attitude, आप अगर किसी चीज के लिए अगर कोई somebody is claiming something big and you are not saying or refuting it, you are not challenging it, but आपका जो attitude है वो एक है कि आप थोड़ा हंसी अंदर ही अंदर थोड़ा हंस रहे हो उसके ऊपर, right? You are within yourself you are laughing, let's say. So you are not expressing it, right? So that's called sardonic. जनरली sarcastic जो होता है उसमें आप एक्सप्रेस कर रहे होते हो, तो सार्डोनिक में आप नहीं कर रहे हो, तो सार्डोनिक एंड क्रिटिकल विद एन अंडर करंट ऑफ ह्यूमर, तो ये भी वही है। इसी तरह से वी कैन कीप दिस। डिटैच्ड एंड एनालिटिकल तो नहीं है बिल्कुल, ऑप्टिमिस्टिक रिफॉर्मिस्ट तो बिल्कुल भी पॉजिटिव है ही नहीं, सिंपैथेटिक एंड रिग्रेटफुल, he doesn't have any sympathy for Mr. Trump or Mr. Musk, both of them, and he's of course regretful, so he's not regretful about the end of the alliance, he's generally regretful about the way the situation is unfolding. So this is also wrong. Correct answer is A. Which of the following is not inconsistent, which means which is consistent with the author's central claim about the entanglement of wealth and politics? The relationship between Musk and Trump was rooted in mutual admiration. So this is definitely not consistent, means this cannot be inferred, right? This was not rooted in mutual, it was naked self-interest. यहाँ साफ साफ लिखा हुआ है कि it was basically it was less a marriage of convenience than naked self-interest. So this was not at all mutual admiration. Politics will eventually break free from the group of billionaire interests. ऐसा तो नहीं कह सकते. The dysfunction of democracy is exacerbated by unregulated private power. Yes, democracy का जो dysfunction है वो खराब और खराब हो जाता है, worsened by unregulated private power. So this also can be said to be consistent. Right? Dysfunction of democracy is exacerbated. That means he worsened by unregulated private power. This definitely is consistent. We'll keep this. Political decisions influenced by billionaires are not always damaging. ऐसा तो नहीं कह रहा है. Okay. Political decisions influenced by billionaires will definitely be damaging. So it's what I was saying. Correct answer is C here. Dysfunction of democracy is exacerbated, which worsened by unregulated private power. So I hope the passage and the questions are clear. That's it. Thank you.